Hello, and welcome, mortals, to another episode of Dice Ex Machina. This episode is entitled Fate Foretold. I am your myth keeper, Riley Silverman, and with me is my lovely band of godly champions. I'm going to go around the horn and have all of them introduce themselves. And I'm going to have them describe themselves because I realized last week I only had one of them do that in character and scene. And so that way y'all have an idea of what kind of characters we're dealing with. So I'll have you say your character race, your class, what deity you are loyal to, and also describe yourself a little bit physically. I will start with Ruben because he is to my left.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ruben Bressler, Mox Ruby, Moxreuby on the internet, and I play the Centaur Druid Claw. Claw is a bit of a quiet sort of loner type. He kind of hangs out by himself. He's got blue rowan colored fur or hair on his horse parts, and sort of an olive complexion on his human parts. He has a top knot, and he sort of is just kind of going with the flow, and he worships Nylea and is very observant of the god of the hunt, and is big on the whatever he can do to survive himself, and had a lot of drive to help protect his people and to protect the order of nature and make sure that the threads of fate are connected and followed through upon.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Now I'll move down as what's on my screen next, which is Danielle. Tell us about yourself and say hello. Oh, Danielle is having some audio problems. All right. While she works on that, I'll skip over to Jordan, who's below me in the chat.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jordan Pridgeon, and I am playing Lysandros, who is a satyr. Because of these horns I got here, that's me being a satyr. And he's also a rogue, and specifically, he's an arcane trickster. So he does illusions and little jam like that. And he's a gambler, and he looks kind of like a satyr, like you would expect. He's kind of lithe, and he usually wears black, but he has like gold trim to most of the things that he wears. And he also decorates his hair and his horns with these coins to make him look like he has a lot of money. But if you actually look into it, they all just have IOU carved on them. And he hands those out as like his little calling card as he racks up enormous debts, going around and being basically a terrible gambler. He has dark hair for the most part, and he's half goat, so that's a pretty distinctive look for things. And he is a follower of Phoenix, less in that he's a super like he's not a priest sort, but Phoenix doesn't necessarily always want priest sorts. He's a god of deception and trickery, and I just sort of live by his tenets and understand Phoenix in a way. Because if you ask Phoenix for things directly, it tends to go rather badly for you because he will give them to you. and he finds ways to make that very bad. But I just live life on the edge, so that's my life.
Excellent. And Danielle, how are we on your sound? Is that working now?
Yes, it's working now.
Cool.
Thank you. I have been having internet and weird problems. It is fine. My character is Dee. She doesn't have internet problems. They don't have internet back then. So Dee is a bard. I would describe Dee as being very mischievous. She is kind of a character who she's very, very charming, and she's going to get her way. And if she's not going to get her way, she's going to fight her way through it. And if she can't fight her way through it, she finds other means that start with the word F. Dee is a gladiator champion in matches that are certainly not rigged. No one would say that they were ever rigged at all. That's not a thing that's true. And Dee worships the god Perforus, I believe that's how that's pronounced. And Dee just, she's really good at telling stories. She's really good at inspiring other people to be their best through the power of bullying.
Nice. Somebody has sirens in the background, which is fun for that is just a thing that happens when you're recording at home. All right,
it's just like the sirens in Theros that lure sailors to their
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Nice.
There you go.
There was a D&D stream that I was on that I think that this was actually, I think it was Sirens of the Realms, where they were filming at a studio that was next to an airport. And whenever a plane flew overhead this warehouse, they would say, "Yep, the dragons are flying by."
Oh, nice. That's good. And then last, of course, but not least, let's say hello to Ashlyn.
Hello. I play a Leonin named Callista. She is a fighter, and she is. Are we describing what they look like again?
A little bit, just for people who didn't get that last week and all. I mean, you did describe yours in scene, but just might as well get yours too. And yeah, a little about yourself.
Totally. So she, for those of you familiar with Magic the Gathering, she is, so she looks a lot like Burmaz as far as like fluffy white fur. She definitely grew up like with her pride and is very close to them. And yeah, so she's a fighter. She grew up hunting. She's really good at it. So she's really good at doing this type of thing. She's kind of like a bounty hunter now. And her god that she serves is Erebos. And so she wears a little circlet that kind of is her signet for that. So yeah, that's what she does. She serves Erebos. And you will find out more about that later on in the story.
4 very different gods and 4 very different ways to approach their gods. So that should be very fun. Speaking of serving our overlords, we want to go ahead and thank our very lovely season sponsor of Hero Forge. Thank you so much for helping make this show possible with viewers like you. At Hero Forge, you can create custom miniature tabletop minis in 3D. You can get them printed, painted, and sent directly to you with thousands of possible combinations. Nothing like Hero Forge. We love them here because they actually contain most of the races that are the Magic the Gathering races. We were able to, during our, like, in between Broken Pact, when our last season of Broken Pact ended, and when we started doing this show, I made minis of all of her Broken Pact characters and of Ruben as the DM. So it was very fun to play with that. And as Dom, as Benevolent Overlord Dom Zook. So that was fun to get to do. And so, and not only is the show brought to us by Hero Forge, who we thank very much, but it's also brought to us by you, the fans, the people in the audience, the chat. You are the Greek chorus. You are the muses that make this possible for us. And so, and one of the ways that you can serve in your role as muse is to subscribe to the channel, of course. And as you'll see, if you click the chat will share our tiers for the night, our goal tiers. There is a tier that is just about resubscribing or getting new subscriptions. So tell your friends to come watch the show and subscribe to the channel, and cool things will happen. But you can also tip the channel if you so choose. And as a result of that, there are some really fun unlocks that we have tonight. I can tease a couple. I don't want to say them all because I want some of them to be surprises for our players. But one of them is a pretty good one. We get there's a unlock. Everyone gets a reroll. That's a nice one to have.
Nice.
Great.
I like rerolls.
Always solid.
Yeah. And trying to think of anything else. I think we have one tonight that if it gets unlocked, one of your characters might learn a little bit more about how their role fits into the current quest. So we'll see how that goes. And then there's a couple other ones in there that I'm going to leave as a surprise to the players. So if you are in chat, head on over to the tiers and see what you can work towards to help our team out tonight. We're already doing pretty good towards our sub goal, so thank you guys for that.
Nice.
But on that note, let's go ahead and thank some people who have supported the show tonight. First of all, we have Mace134, who has given 4 rerolls to the table. So let's go ahead and give that. That is excellent. We have Neva and Omar, who have also given 4 rerolls to table, so that's fantastic. Peripheral Cats has given a reroll to me. Hours Without Sleep has given 1 to the table. Eric Bleich has given 1 to me. Guess I'm Salad has 1 to me. Monkey, I love reading usernames. It's my favorite thing.
They're the best.
They're so creative.
Yeah. Monkey Ninja 99 has given 1 to the table. Hardcore Casual RPG has given 2 to the table. Tipsy Flipper 1 to the table. Fractured Avatar 13 has 1 to the table. Smiley Ogre 1 to me, and Turtle Man 1 to me. So just for the players, just to keep track of that, that is 4, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 to you.
Ooh.
15 to players, according
15.
to them. I'm not good at math, which is
Looks
why
like-
it's great that I'm running a game that is math-based.
Well, it's
So
also I see it on the stream here, so it looks like
Yeah.
15. for
15 to
us.
you, 5 to me.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, you know why the 15 is because I resubscribed before the show started.
Oh,
and
there
I
you
gave
go.
the 15 to the players.
Oh, how
And
nice.
Now
looks
you
like
feel
we
like
have
a
our
fool.
first. We have a big tip of the night. Stephen Pope just tipped in.
Hey,
Thank you, Stephen Pope.
Stephen
Thank
Pope.
you.
Knocks us to our first tier, which means
Fabulous.
that we now have the table rerolls for everybody. So
Awesome.
now you all get your own reroll.
Oh,
Plus
I have my
the-
own reroll.
Yes.
Perfect.
So yeah, there we go. So thank you very much, Stephen, friend of the channel, obviously a fellow DM on the channel. So thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
so much for helping us with that. And let me see what else we have to knock out. Oh, and to point out how important these tips are to making the show really fun, we had an incredibly generous tip last week from Mallet Master, and tonight's episode is 100% a result of that. I had a different plan for this week, but because of a Hail Mary donation, a tip at the very, very end of the episode, I
Yeah.
basically just chucked out what I had planned and was like, we're going to do something else
Amazing.
completely off the wall this week. So I am very excited to see where it goes. And that is a good example of how the support that comes from you supporters in the chat
Yeah.
can really help change the show. And with that out of the way, actually, let's go ahead and start off with a toast, because we did get a toast in, and it's a good way to kick off the show. So we have one toast right now. So I think it came in before we started. So we'll go ahead and start off with that. Everyone
to
who
bring
has
a
a
drink.
glass or an invisible, Jordan's glass is being eaten by his green screen. So
Nice.
That's amazing.
It's an arcane trickster move, is what that is.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
all right, and so the toast comes from Hunting the Boojum. And Hunting the Boojum lets us know, may your coming journeys be truly epic, worthy of being sung by Croesus of Karna himself. And
Hear,
we
hear.
got one more toast that came in under the wire, and I'm going to read it because this comes from Jake Wherewithal, who
Aw,
tweeted
Jake.
today on Twitter an amazing spread of
Mhm.
charcuterie that was extremely, extremely Theros-based. So
Yeah.
I am
yeah.
going to go
Quite
ahead
hungry.
and give Jake, Jake's going to get a toast now to continue before we, but this is the last toast before we start the show, and then we'll do some more in the show itself. And Jake's toast is Onomancy, divination through dreams. May your wildest dreams come true and not turn into nightmares.
Cheers.
A revel,
Yes.
indeed.
Cheers.
So, and with that, it is time to kick off tonight's episode of Dice Ex Machina. But we already played the intro, so we'll go ahead and start.
Yes.
Going to get me every
this is how we
time.
do
I
it.
know,
Love it.
I know,
Every,
I know.
every time
And
it
it- yeah.
happens.
All
It's
right,
so
and Turtle
good.
Man 7420, thank you for the subscribe. That is a reroll to
Yeah.
me. So I now have 6. I'm going to
Ooh.
start making a little note of that so I don't forget that I have them.
Even the odds a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go.
The constant reality of D&D. It's the DM versus the players. All right. When we last met our champions, they were heading out of the town of Neolanton on the way to Melitis, or points in between, perhaps. Everyone had their reasons for embarking upon this journey. Callista was being ordered to do so by her patron, and apparently a cat has joined the fray for Callista. So we have a
Yes.
fellow Leona just hopping by to give some cosplay. That's very cool. It's Arthur, actually, from Broken Path.
Right.
Yes.
Or it's just me from
Yeah.
even animal form.
Nice.
So Callie is being compelled to seek out a return on behalf of her patron, Erebos. Claw has been beseeched to aid her in this quest by his own godly for what? That's not a word. His own godly interventionist, Nylea. Dee has been compelled by a different sort of patron, a criminal overlord by the name of the Gorgon, who has entreated her to escort. He might not be aware of this escorting happening, but she is leading Lysandros to someone who wants his attention in Melitis, and Lysandros is going to put some red back in his ledger.
That's the
You've
plan.
all been traveling. We'll say it's been long enough that you have camped down for the night. You've all had a long rest. We'll say you've taken watches. You've slept through the nights, and you've woken up, and you've hit the ground for a continued journey. It's a nice.
When we wake up in the morning, I apologize. I don't want to.
Go ahead. Go for it. Yeah.
When
it's fine.
I have like a thing I do when I wake up in the morning, which
Do your thing.
I'm going to pretty much every morning when I'm on the road, I cast Druid Craft to see what the weather is going to be like in the next day. Try to avoid any serious thunderstorms or snowstorms or anything of that nature. And then I'll also cast Goodberry and hand one of those out to everybody and say, now this will feed you for the day. Don't eat more than one. You don't need more than one.
Do we not?
One berry. We get one berry for the day.
Yeah, you get one berry for the day.
Do we not eat anything else at
Well,
all?
you don't have to eat anything else at all if you don't want
Okay,
to.
but like, what's the grift? Like, is it that the berry isn't that you just like eat the berry, right? Like, what's the grift? What are we?
I don't understand what are you talking about?
Okay, well,
Well, it's-
for experimentation purposes, how about I eat 2 of the berries and we'll just see what happens, right?
Okay, sounds good. Here's 2 berries, and I'll give him 2 berries.
Okay. What happens when you
It's
eat 2
probably
good berries?
fine. You heal 2 hit points, and you're also so the effect of Goodberry is that you are you have enough nourishment to sustain a creature for one day. So you've eaten enough to sustain 2 creatures for a full day.
I poke him in the stomach.
I
okay?
mean,
Are you okay?
I still feel decently fine. I could eat more. I mean,
Oh,
I don't feel like I
okay.
have to
Well-
eat more, but I think if more food was presented to me, I would probably jump on it.
Okay, but you're not
Well-
gonna like die or anything, are you?
No, it's just
Oh, no, definitely not.
it's just wasteful. Emphasis on the waist, and I point at his belly.
I eat the
I
berry.
think that I got good use out of it, and I don't know if that's a waste at all.
Yeah, I eat the berry, I guess. I still don't believe in the berry. I think the berry is a carny trick, but I'm gonna eat the berry.
Okay, let's go, and I'll start walking.
Based on 2 terrible rolls, including one that was a reroll, I'm not even going to make you roll for perception. As you begin to pack up your stuff and get ready to move, you hear the unmistakable sound of a twig snapping as if someone had stepped on it. Someone who was trying to be stealthy and did a very, very bad job at it. Like someone who tried to be better at being stealthy and like was like, I'm going to try harder to be stealthy,
Right.
and then did not. That's what happened.
Who hears that? All of us?
Yeah, that's how bad this roll was. You all hear it. Like, a squirrel across the field heard it and darted up a tree. That's how bad this stealth roll was.
I'll grab my sword and yell, "Who's there?"
When you do that, suddenly you feel the familiar rush of breeze by your head as a arrow misses your head and lands and finds purchase in a grassy spot near you. So someone attempted to shoot at you and failed because they're not getting a sneak attack round on you. So everybody roll for initiative.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, balls.
Okay.
Hey, good
Everyone
roll.
Okay. Anyone roll
use-
over 20?
No.
You're going to use a reroll?
I'm going to use my personal. I'll use my inspiration from last week.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
I would
told
like to
you
use
could
a
carry
reroll.
on.
I will
Okay.
use a reroll as well.
Okay, everyone can use a reroll if they want to. Let me know when you all have rolled so I can start going through who's got what.
I regret my reroll.
I do not regret mine.
Okay. Callie, what'd you get?
I got a 19.
Yeah, I wouldn't regret that. Lysandros, what'd you get?
A 4.
4.
Ooh,
Great.
I'd regret that too.
Claw, what'd you get?
18.
18. Great. D, what do you got?
Oh, I got a smooth 8.
Ooh, all right. And then let me go ahead and see what our buddies here got. I'm
no.
going to go ahead and roll that real quick.
Buddies. I only heard 1 arrow. That means there's more arrows coming. I think.
Okay.
I assume.
Ooh, all right.
I hope so.
Yikes.
Cool.
It's our first combat. team.
Yay!
Boom. All right.
And it's
So
not against each other.
Right.
for real. So as there we go. All right. So as you begin to look up, suddenly a party of bandits come running into the circle of your camp. One of them with a bow drawn. You can see that he does not have an arrow now because he has already loosed that arrow. However, they are led by a fiercer captain who, seeing Callista as the toughest looking member of the party, runs up and starts swinging at you with a scimitar. So let me go ahead and roll that. And he misses you by a lot. So so far I'm not rolling great. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do a reroll just because like I've got him. Just because I've got him.
You've got him.
Yeah. People subscribe for this. And this time he does hit you. So yeah, he hits you and you take 9 slashing damage on that.
Ooh, okay.
And now Callista is actually your turn. So this bandit has run up to you. He seems to be the one in charge. I will say, based on he just seems a little more decked out than the other ones. Like he's probably taken his fair share of the loot, and he's looking a little bit tougher. And he runs up to you, and he hits you. He goes to swing at you, and he does find a little bit of a hit with a scimitar and does some damage to you. Now it's your turn.
Okay, yay! My first combat as a fighter. Okay, let's see.
Do the thing.
I'm gonna try and do a thing. While I'm within 5 feet, a marked creature has disadvantage attack while as a target. Okay. Okay, cool. So I guess I just hit things, right? I don't have to do anything. Cool. All right. So I'm gonna take my great sword that I've already picked up when I yelled, and I'm just gonna smile, kind of a sneer, like I was ready for this. I did my morning stretchies, and I'm like, let's go. And I just
oh, good heavens.
did my little kitty stretch.
Yep.
And then I swing. Oh, that's okay. Let's do some math and hope that's good. So I get to do my hit. So it's +5. That's 10. Do I get any other pluses, or is it just that +5?
If it just says +5 on the attack, then that's probably it.
It's just 10.
Oh, we got rated. Mark Smith just rated.
Hey,
you're getting rated.
What's up, everybody?
Wow, you're getting rated.
Yeah, we're getting rated while rating.
Well, we do have a lot of rerolls.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll say these
Take
bandits
them
are all
all.
human. Just for the record, these are all human
Gotcha.
bandits.
All right, I'm just gonna reroll them.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, that was better. 12.
Okay, 12 plus 5.
Yes.
Okay.
No,
so
no. It was 12 flat. Like that. That is the
flat.
end. 12.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Unfortunately, 12 does not hit. So you guys are kind of trading parries at this point. Like he got one in on you, and then you you tried to swing at him. I think what you were kind of, as much as you were expecting them to come running up because you were warned by the blade, I think that he gets you and then is able to kind of pull away before you can get one in on him. So that's a move there. Following that, we have now it is Claw's turn. Claw, there is the leader, and there are 4 other bandits that are joining him in the fray.
And they are there's a easy dividing line between the 4 of us and the 5 of them, correct? Like they are not intermixed with our group yet.
They have not yet, except for the captain who is currently engaged with Callista. Everybody else has they're still running up behind him, and they're getting there. Like, and the one with the bow is like mad and like trying to reload his bow. So
I'm gonna try to aim the center of my spell in a way that it doesn't catch Callista in it. But if I catch Callista, then I don't think Callista's going to care too much. I'm going to pull some thorns from my pocket and sort of rub them together in my hand. And as I extend my hand, I'm going to cast Spike Growth, centered in the middle of the group, which creates a 20-foot radius centered on a point within range. It becomes difficult terrain for the duration, and when a creature moves into or within the area, they take 2d4 piercing damage for every 5 feet they travel.
Is there a saving throw involved with that?
No.
Oh, wow.
The transformation of the ground is camouflaged. Any creature can't see the area. Any creature that can't see the area at the time the spell is cast has to make a perception check against my spell save DC to recognize the terrain. So
Okay.
it just becomes a 20-foot radius.
Well, they can see it because they're
They're
literally
in it.
standing
They can see
Yeah.
it. And
Why there's no save at all?
nope, not for
Wow.
spike growth.
Okay.
2d4 piercing for every 5 feet that they travel.
Okay, that's going to be
So
a real
some
fun.
of them are going to
yeah.
move 20 feet through it. Some of them are going to move 5 feet through it. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to
That's what I'm
say
gonna
for
do.
sake of simplicity, probably going to be a lot more of everyone does the exact same thing, just so we're not doing a ton of. We'll see. We'll see how it happens.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Yeah. All right. Is that your turn?
So that was my action.
Okay.
Let me see what I would do as a bonus here. I'm going to Hunter's Mark the captain. Casting Hunter's Mark with my Nylea's devotee trait. Nylea trait, because of my piousness. So I'll do the eyes at the captain.
Okay. And he doesn't understand what you're doing yet, so he's just like,
Yeah, that's fine. And it doesn't do anything yet, so.
great. All right. And now that moves us into the bandit's turn. So, question, if they start their turn on the spikes, can they move out before they take the damage?
For every 5 feet they move while within the spikes, they take 2d4.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll your 2d4.
Okay.
I'm going to say two of them keep running and 2 of them back off. So 2 of them are going to go 10 feet into it and 2 are going to move 5 feet out of it.
4.
4 damage.
4 damage.
Okay, so 2 of them are going to take 8 damage.
Okay.
Because they are not aware of what's happening, and the other 2 are only going to take 4 damage. So,
Okay. And it
go
is
ahead and mark
difficult
that.
terrain.
Great.
as well.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay, excellent. So the 2 call back. So the first one is going to take its bow and fire at you because it notices that you did that kind of damage.
How dare
So I'm
you?
going to do a little crossbow hit here.
I accept your terms.
Okay, and that one just misses you. But I have a reroll, so I'm going to use it. And it just misses you. The exact same number again.
Hey.
So far, not doing great with rerolls. That's all right.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a
That's
centaur.
why I've got him. Yep. All right. And then the next one is going to fire its bow. Actually, you know what? I'm going to, just for the sake of keeping things a little bit more different, I'm not going to have all the people go 1 turn since there's not that many of them. So I will move on to D.
All right. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna attack with my big sword.
Okay, I'll say you're within range, I think, of one of the ones that got to the front of Claw's.
Spikes.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so I rolled a 4.
Okay. We do have some rerolls to the table if you want to go ahead and use one of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna
Go
use
ahead.
one of my reroll. I rolled an 8.
Yeah. So that still misses. But you looked real cool while doing it. We'll say. We'll say that you took a swing and then you like missed, and then like you kind of like tried to use the momentum to take a swing back again, and then you just caught air. And the guy who was already being ripped up by spikes in the ground kind of like turned and laughed at you, and then kind of winced again because his feet really hurt.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like I didn't trip. I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
Looking cool is half the battle. Unfortunately, the other half of the battle is battle in this
battle.
case.
Yeah.
But
But I looked
You're
really
not.
cool.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
speaking of looking cool, Lysandros, what do you do?
so is there like a tree or anything I could take cover behind near us?
Make a stealth check for me.
Okie dokie. Where's my 20? Oh, it's over here.
It's the big one with the 20 numbers on it.
Yes. I need to use a reroll. That's what I got.
Thank you, rerolls.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
We've
you,
got a lot of them,
Rerolls.
so use them as much as you want.
Okay, I
Very
got
generous
I got
chat
an
takes care of
unnatural 20.
Nice.
Great. Then absolutely you were able to find a very nice tree that you can hide behind.
So Lysandros, as soon as like the arrows start flying, kind of like, huh, and just dives to like duck behind one of the trees, puts himself up under it, kind of looks out at one of the people who are watching or who are shooting at us, and tries to get like a good look at one of them, and then is going to really quickly sort of like do a little ritual and cast disguise self to make him look like one of them.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. I want to see where this goes. So I'm excited to see how that plays out.
And I think that's it for the turn.
Yeah, I think so. Because you did the stealth as your move. So, all right. So that takes us back to the top of the order. The bandit captain is now going to have to move out of the range of the thing. So Ruben, go ahead and roll your damage again. 2d4.
So many spikes. That is 5.
Okay. So he's going to take that 5, and then he is going to step. He is now off the spikes. He has gotten his way out of it because he was kind of on the edge of where you could do it.
Yeah.
And
He's out of the briar patch.
he is still pretty focused on Callista because he already hit her once. So he figures, why stop a good thing while you're doing it? So he's going to take a swing with his scimitar. And oh yeah, he hits you. He gets a 24. 24 hits, right?
Not bad.
And so you take 5 slashing damage.
Ooh.
Oh, that's nothing.
All right.
boy.
Well,
Yeah.
it is nothing. It is now your turn.
All right. So am I in the briar patch right now?
Roll
yeah.
dexterity for me.
Okay. Well, I'm a fighter. Okay. I never said I was dexterous.
Right.
That's a 10.
Okay. I'm going to say you did not get out of it, so you do take the 5 damage.
Sorry.
But you are able to then move off of it
Wait,
to
hold on.
keep in with the captain.
Let me just check something really quick. Is it considered difficult terrain?
Yes.
Yes.
When you make melee attack against a creature, you don't. Because I have the mobile
Oh.
feat, so I was just seeing if it
Mm.
affected me as much. It just says it doesn't cost me movement, but it still
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah, I'll say you took
Yeah.
the damage, but then you were able to
Okay.
because of your mobile ability, you weren't slowed down getting out of the spikes. So you took
Right.
one hit by the spikes, but now you and the captain are both off the spikes. And I think you still have the ability to attack now, right? So
Yes, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, come here, Captain. Where are you running? And so I'm gonna take another swing at him. And 16. Does that hit?
16.
Come on, come
you
on.
hit. It just hit.
Hey, there
Yes.
we go.
All
Go ahead and roll your
right.
damage for me.
That is 9 damage.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
He just
He doesn't like
slams
that.
it down.
He is not a fan of that.
Be pretty-
All
She
right.
says, "Good morning to you too."
Right, idiot.
All right. That is Callista's turn. Anything else that you're going to do for your turn, Callista?
I don't think so.
Okay. Claw, back to you.
All right. Well, I don't think that. So Claw is thinking like, this is looking a little hairy, but I don't know these people well enough yet to tap into what I have that I know that I'm aware of. So he is going to, first of all, maintain concentration on the spike growth.
Okay.
And then instead of doing anything too ridiculous, he is simply going to cast Healing Word at first level on Callista.
Oh, very kind. Go ahead and roll your healing
So
word.
that is a D4 plus 3. So go ahead and heal 6.
Ooh, thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, Callista, you feel almost like energy from the spikes that had stabbed you. Like it's almost like they shoot back to you. Like they almost like the same like energy that is like fueling Claw's magic is almost like returning itself back to you a little bit.
That was my bonus action.
Okay.
And as my regular action, I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay. Good to know. All right. Claw is dodging. And then we move on to 2 of the bandits. And one of them is actually going to try to fire a bow and arrow at you with now disadvantage, right?
Yep.
So-
All of the attacks against me until the start of my next turn are made at disadvantage
Yeah.
if I can see the attacker.
Okay. So let me just tell that's a disadvantage roll. And let me go ahead and roll that. And he misses because he rolled a big old 6. So he misses.
Yeah.
The next
We're
one
in
is
the
Aus.
woods now.
Yeah.
I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me. I'm bobbing and weaving.
The next one feels like he can't hit you, so he turns his bow and aims it at Callie because he's trying to protect his own boss. And that is a 22 to hit. So you take 7 piercing damage, Callie.
7 piercing.
All right. And then one of the
It
other
hits her. She looks over and she says, "Oh, now you can hit."
Actually, Ruben, I'm sorry. I forgot to have you roll your damage again for the spikes at the beginning of the
spike
round.
growth.
So go ahead and roll your
That
growth.
is 3.
3. Ruben,
Yes, hi.
guess how many hit points the 2 bandits that were still on the spikes
Oh,
had?
did they have 3 hit
They
points
both
left?
had exactly 3 hit points
Nice.
left. So y'all
Excellent.
see as these spikes, basically one of them trips and falls right on the spikes, and that kills him. The other one is just like, it rips him up a little bit and he falls down as well. So those 2 are now dead from the spike growth.
Rose has it. Okay.
Not anymore. We'll have to pay for it. And now we come to D. D, before you make your move, a shadow falls over you as you look at this bandit captain. And you notice that he is wearing probably stolen Acroan armor. However, it just flashes a memory in your mind of a time when you dealt with some Acroan hoplite guards. And now we cut to D, a much younger version of D. Yes, Acroan, as in from the city of Akros. Akros, for those of you who are not as well knowledgeable in Theros as a campaign, Akros is very much the Sparta of Theros. It is extremely Spartan inspired, and so we are kind of just, if you're looking for like a good visual, my green screen's being weird. If you're looking for a good visual idea of what this city is like, we're thinking about Sparta. But it's Akros, and D, you are in the town of Akros for the Iroan Games, the annual competition where people from Theros come from all over to compete for the glory of athletic strength and prowess and the bragging rights for an entire year, to take back and hold up crowns of victory for their various polices and their small towns and in the names of their various gods. You are being tossed into a jail cell. You and your brother were attempting to run yet another set of scams in town amongst the folks who were there visiting. Tourists are full of money, and you and Jay, your brother, were pretty fond of loosening those purses for them. You were captured. Jay was not. You are suddenly alone without your long-running partner in crime, and you were chucked into their jail. And by chucked and by jail, I mean there's literally a hole in the ground that you have been tossed down into. It is about 20 feet down, and it's not that soft when you land. You feel a little bit bruised and a little bit embarrassed. And you find yourself down there with 3 other people who have also all been caught up in the mess that is the guards in Akros during the games. And I will let them introduce themselves. Well, actually, we'll do this in character. We will, so if you all just want to describe what Dee sees while she's in this pit.
I'm looking for more costume pieces. Hold on.
Okay, I'll let Jordan start. Actually, this one you can have your whatever name you want, Callie. So.
Uh-oh.
I didn't bring any different costume pieces for
this
role.
I 100% don't need to.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Which
You don't
is,
need to. I just decided that I was gonna.
I very specifically don't need to. Because the person that she sees in the cell is a satyr who is wearing mostly black and has a lyre, and he seems to be lying on one of the like little benches on the cell, and he's just kind of quietly playing the lyre and singing a little bit to himself. Just be like, "Oh, Acroan Games. No, I know I had a song about these at some point, but it's not coming to me anymore. What was it from the? Welcome, new person to the thing," and he's basically just sitting there with not a care in the world amongst the other people, and it's Lysandros.
Dee, this is someone who you will come to know off and on multiple times throughout the course of your life. However, this is actually a memory of the very first time that you and Lysandros met.
Do you sing to all the ladies that get dropped down on their butts in the prison, or is this
No.
just like a thing you're doing special for me?
Oh no, I'm just singing for myself because I've got a lot of time to pass here. But you just get the joy of getting to experience that as it shows up. So what have they thrown you in here for?
I'm innocent, so it's not. I didn't do anything wrong. This is all a complete misunderstanding.
Oh
You know
yeah,
how that
we're
works.
all innocent in here.
Not me.
And you see a portly, short, balding, but wearing like a rag on his head. But you can tell that he's got like the Caesar around the sides. Not just like ill-kempt, kind of gross, middle-aged human. Who's sitting off to the side and like got his hands like Tony Soprano up on his belly, just sort of sitting there watching, and is like, yeah, you'll get tired of that pretty soon. Don't worry about it.
So, I mean, how long has he been in here with that thing?
Well, he's been in here longer than I have, so I don't know where he got it.
Oh, well, see, I'm friends with the captain of the guard, and I didn't do anything particularly to be thrown in here today, but whenever he sees me, he just sort of, almost as a courtesy, I like to think for good old time's sake, just grabs me and throws me in jail for a little while. And it's like, hey, pay me what you owe me. And then I don't, and eventually I leave. And
You tired?
everything
of him yet?
tends to work out.
Are you tired of him yet?
I'm tired of everything yet. I'm sorry. I am being unkind and uncivilized. My name is D, known throughout the land as D the devious, D the
Okay, that's enough of that.
devia, D the deviant. D. Hi,
Yeah,
my name
hi.
is D.
Hi, D.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Well,
My
it
name's
is a pleasure.
I'm Dolos. That's just that's all you really need to know about that.
Dolos. That's a great name, Dolos. Where do you come from?
I'm from here.
Hmm.
I mean, as far as you need to know, I'm from here.
That's great. And you, liar player.
Yes? Why, I am Lysandros, also known as Lysandros Lackpurse or Lysandros the Liar, because of this, not because I'm a deceitful person. Although actually, I haven't interrogated people who called me that, so maybe they were calling me a
He's
liar.
also a liar, as you can see him lounging about.
Ah, yes, a third one. Wow, what a good nickname. But you can just call me Lysandros.
All right. So who in here do I have to negotiate with to get me one of them comfy places to be while we are in this hole? Huh?
Dolos is going to look around and be like, there's rocks
Uh-huh.
and there's sand.
And over here is the finest stone, which I think is just a variation on rock.
So no one to negotiate for like just a little bit of like when I'm tired, a little bit of fluffiness, like just something over on my head, because like I get this crick in my neck and it's like crazy. So there's no one to talk to about accommodations in this here hole.
I mean, they'll come by and give us food every once in a while. Lysandros got the harp. That one over there got something else. Hey, you in the shadows. What are you doing?
And you'll see a little, I would say you're not quite sure what she is. She looks like a mix between, she's probably human, but she's really small. She's probably like 4 feet tall. Has like dredged matted hair covering most of her face, and she'll kind of just come out of the shadows. Hi. I'm Lily. I've been in here for, who knows? I got caught pickpocketing. The guards don't really care. They don't ask why you're here or why you're taking money. You gotta eat sometimes, you know? But
I'm sorry. How do you get out of here? Is there like a trial? Because I feel like everyone's allowed to like a fair trial. I feel like I heard that somewhere. Sounds
Where
crazy.
did you hear that?
No, like it just They bring you in front of like a judge, and the judge is like, "Hey, you have to pay us a bunch of coin, and then once you pay them the coin, you get to leave." That's not how that works here.
Well,
Just a big old hole.
In Akros, it's more like mostly trial by combat, mostly, or you just sit and wait, which is what I'm doing.
Okay, so when does trial by combat happen?
Whenever they decide that they need to have a show, I guess.
Yeah. Or the next, or the like, the latest contestants die.
Right.
I've had a lot.
Die.
As an alternative, I've had a lot of success for waiting for them to open the door and then just like diving under their legs and running.
Okay, but you're still here. So
I'm here again, I think it's better to say.
no, I was right the first time. Okay, so we're all just waiting around for some kind of combat to hope that we can get out of here if we win.
I mean, I'm just waiting until they say that they're tired of me and that they don't want to feed me anymore.
Huh.
Speaking of feeding you, I'll say a little bit of time passes. You all get to know each other a little bit as you do in a holding cell. And eventually the metal grate at the top of the hole, the pit, is opened slightly, and a rope is lowered down with a tray of what passes for food. It's mostly just a little bit of bread, and it's not good bread. It's not the fresh bread. They didn't go down to like the hot fresh bread place and bring you that. They kind of like, it's like what they couldn't feed their animals, they tossed it into this pit with you. They lower it down to you, and there's also a bit of a wait while they expect you to take whatever waste was left over from the previous meal and put it on the tray for them to clean out of there as well.
Oh, look, it's feeding time.
Manna from heaven. Yep. Usually they just give us, rations, which is fine. I mean, it's the kind of stuff I sell at my shop, so it's.
Have you heard of anyone named Jay that might be around here? Just like someone named Jay?
Have I heard of anyone named Jay?
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's one of those names, not unlike D, where like you can't really place it because it's intentionally a very vague name. So
right. Can't say I have. Sorry.
Kind of maybe about yay tall, skin about yay dark, eyes about yay big, nose.
I'm getting the picture.
It's like
Yeah.
Stays out of the way, very quiet, doesn't really talk to anybody. Anything?
Maybe we would have noticed them if they talked to people.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't say I have.
D goes and grabs a little bit of food. Having not eaten yet, she doesn't have anything to put on the weighted cart. But she grabs a roll, and then she starts talking while she's near the cart. So has anybody seen a juggler before? Do you know what that looks like? And she starts juggling the roll. Have you seen this? Follow it. And then she grabs another roll off of the cart. I just feel like when we're in like a precarious situation like this, we all need something to entertain ourselves with. And we can't listen to him try to play that thing forever.
Well, wait.
She like
D,
tips it
make a
underneath her thing.
performance check for me.
17.
Yeah, you're juggling really well.
So
it's really impressive. You're doing like under the leg things and like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, just like a little bit of Harlem Globetrotter with a couple of rolls. So have you ever seen how it works up there when they have these big matches? What do you win if you win? Do you win your freedom? Or do you just win not dying?
Depends. For the most part, it's you win your freedom. I mean, did you kill somebody? Did you do anything serious?
I didn't do anything.
Let me rephrase. Did they say that you killed somebody?
No one has ever said that I've killed anyone.
Okay. They'll probably let you go if you do something. If you do that, the other thing that and I'm gonna glance up to see if the guards are. Well, first of all, is the grate still open?
A little bit, yeah. It's left a little bit open because the rope is still hanging down, so it's
Are
like
the-
leaning on the rope.
Are the guards watching the juggling?
Yeah, I would say one of them is. You know that typically there's almost always a guard within about 10 feet of the grate, and it's probably keeping an eye down there to make sure no one uses the rope to try to like strangle another inmate or something.
Right. Now, are they holding the rope?
You can't see that, I think, over the because it's like hanging down over the
Okay.
side. You actually get the impression, based on how long you've been in here and and like the sounds you've heard, that the rope is actually attached to like someone's actually been like cranking it up and down. So it's actually not just a person. That way no one can pull a guard into the pit
That's what I was
by the
thinking.
rope, but there's
Yeah.
like an anchor to it.
Okay.
You know, some people fight for fame, honestly. I mean, we are in a bad position, so if we fought, it would be to get our freedom. But a lot of the people up there just like the celebrity of the whole thing, which, by the way, is heavily overrated, let me tell you.
Is it now? And Dee does see that there is a guard looking. And so she grabs another roll because most of this is like it's all breads, because bread is like the easiest way to feed people and it doesn't mean anything. So she grabs another roll and she's juggling. And unfortunately, she starts really cashing in on her Pornhubby access as she's looking up and making eye contact with the guard. And now the juggling is not just juggling; it's is there such thing as sensual juggling?
Yeah, burlesque.
I'm gonna
burlesque
say
style
with your 17, I'll say you can
Called
have
juggaloing.
that. I'll say
Yeah.
yeah.
Juggaloing.
With the caveat,
Juggaloing.
PG-13, but yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
PG-13. It's very
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the girl version of contact juggling in the labyrinth. Like it's not like
Okay.
overtly sexy, but it's definitely enough
Right.
to be like,
Can't
hey,
help
uh,
it.
you see something's happening.
What's the point of sexy juggling if it's not overtly sexually juggling? That's what I say. But I guess continue.
So Dolos sees this very good distraction
Mhm.
and is gonna like try to get Lily's attention and be like, hey, come here. You want to sneak out and like we're gonna get out right now when they're distracted?
How?
I mean, I think that step one is getting someone up there. And then step two is either getting one of the guards down here or getting the rest of us out.
I could fit up there.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I could.
All right. I'll give you a boost and I will sneakily try to boost Lily up the rope.
Okay.
And try to get it to a point where step one of whatever plan we're trying to hatch with this prison break is going to happen.
I love it. How about both of you give me just a straight D20 roll?
Okay.
While that's happening.
Speaking of which, we do have, before you set your thing, D, real quick, we do have another reroll come to the table from Pissqueak 15. Thank you, Pissqueak 15, for the reroll. That's for the table.
Dolos is going to use a reroll.
Okay, D, go ahead and say what you were going to do while they were doing that.
Well, so while they're doing that, Dee notices because, and so she's continuing to juggle while she sees them, and that's when she asks, like, "I don't care what y'all do, just make sure you look for Jay. All I care about is make sure that you find Jay." Okay.
Well,
All right.
Jay,
Okay. What was
I
your
Dolos,
roll?
Dolos rolled an 11 on
Okay.
the reroll.
oh, we have rerolls.
Yeah. First one was a 4. So
That was called 11
hey.
Okay.
instead of a natural 1.
All right, that's the DC was not super high on this, so this is just a fun flashback scene. So yeah, I say that Lily is able to get up on the rope. We'll say that Dolos was able to kind of secure it enough that it's like held in place while she gets up there, and while the guard is busy watching D, and they're like, he's maybe called a buddy over, and they're like making lewd gestures and like elbowing each other and watching it happen, and they do not see Lily get to the top of the rope. And so then when they open the grate to pull the rope out, Lily pops free of the grate. So you are now, Lily, you are out of the cell, and suddenly the guards are very aware that a small urchin-like being has now jumped out of the, grate. So what do you do next?
Lily kind of looks around, and she's gonna see if it's she's probably not big enough to push a guard in.
Can you think of a different way that she might cause a guard to fall?
How is the layout of the hole and like the positioning of the guards?
I'll say that there's like almost like a trapdoor vibe to the grate. Like there's like a piece of the grate that opens and closes, but the overall grate is still there.
Okay.
But so that door is open. There was enough, like it's wide enough for the platter to go in and out of.
Okay. Because if she could get behind one of them and just kind of push them in, she totally would.
Make a straight roll for me again. And actually go ahead and add if you have a dexterity modifier as Callie, go ahead and add that in. Because I know you're not super dexterous, so I don't think this would be an unfair thing to add to your roll.
Callie is not dexterous.
Urchins tend to be a little dexterous.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving you a little bit of a bonus to it. But
14.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, my DC was like around a 12, so I think a 14 is good.
She would definitely like hop around, like really like
duck and weave a little bit.
Yeah, duck and weave, and like really. She's also like very creepy looking because she probably hasn't bathed in a while, and like she looks like the ring child.
And you just came out of a well, so it's
I just came out of a well, so and she's probably going like like screeching at them. So
it's interesting that this is not a Leonin because not unlike a cat, you have darted between his legs a bunch, and he's moved around trying to get you from under his legs, causing him to then kind of afraid of you because this little creepy little goblin girl, not really a goblin, but because this is Pharaoh's, but like has kind of scared him enough to where he jumps back and yes, he falls down into the hole. So now y'all have caught yourself a guard down in the hole, and there's one more guard up top who is still trying to like catch. A cat has shown up to demonstrate what it's like. But yeah, so there are now all the two guards. One is down in the hole with the three of you, and the other one is up with Lily and attempting to capture Lily.
I'm gonna call up and be like, "Hey, we're gonna hurt your buddy if you don't let us climb out."
I don't like that guy anyway. He's kind of a jerk.
Well, so are you. You'll get fired.
Okay, that's a valid point.
Who are you talking to? Focus on me.
I interrupt and I say, I hear that you guys are looking for people who want to play upstairs.
I mean, the guy in the pit is like, it's not really a want situation. It's kind of a, we just grab you when we're in the mood to have you fight kind of thing.
Well, what if I say that I'm not going to fight? Or I say that I'll just fight and you don't have to grab me, and that I want to fight. And that if you trust me, I will bring you riches untold if you let me get up there and fight for you in exchange for a guy named Jay and maybe letting one or two of these people go. But if not, I super don't care.
Or three. Three's good. I mean, you've got them in kind of in a bad situation. Why not go for three?
I said the numbers that I wanted to say. I feel like there were numbers and I wanted to say them, and then I said them. The ones it was like one or two. I feel like I said the ones I wanted to say. So.
Well, I don't know anyone named Jay, so I can't help you with the J. But I mean, if you want to fight, like we'll let you fight. Like that's, I mean, you're not going to win, so it's just going to be entertaining for us. It makes our job easier. We don't have to throw punches or anything to get you out of here.
Oh, I'm totally not going to win. It's going to be so fun to watch me lose, and then I reel back and I clock him right in the face. And then
that's a weird way to close a deal. I got to be honest with you.
And then I straddle him, and then I clock him in the face again. Don't you want to watch me lose?
I would like to watch you no longer punching me. If we're going to go a list of things that we're doing, like I would like if you stop doing that.
And then I punch him again.
Okay, again, why are you hitting me in the face? I'm not doing anything to you. I'm just doing my job. You were running cons. You were taking me with money. I'm trying to stop you. I'm throwing you in jail. And
then I hit him in the nuts.
That hurts him. He's not a fan of it.
Not liking it.
Yeah, he's super not a fan of that. So then the one guy at the top, he kind of turns his gaze away from Lily and looks down the grate. And he's like, if we let you go, you promise to fight for us.
Yeah.
And
I
you're going to
promise to
lose. We
fight for
could
you.
bet against you to lose, and we can make a lot of money.
Oh, I'm going to lose so hard. You're going to be amazed by how hard I am good at losing.
This is the weirdest prison break.
Lysandros has suddenly gotten very interested in this whole thing.
As you, Lily, like the guy stops trying to catch you, and then he walks over and opens a door that's on the ground, kind of like he moves a stone that you would have thought was just like a stone in the street, but it's actually like almost like a trap door that opens up, revealing a stairway, like a spiral stairway. And he heads down the stairway to the side of the chamber that y'all are in, and a piece of the wall that was
Wow.
seemed like a seamless part of the wall opens up. And this is the way they tend to clear out dead bodies and such if nobody wants to use the rope to get down to it, or when they come to collect people to go up to fight in the gladiator games. And they open the door and they go, all right, if you stop punching him, then you can go and you can pick one of these guys to come with you.
Oh.
I'm not touching that kid again. So Lily, you are basically at this point like forgotten about because you're creeping them out and they let you just scamper off.
So I get to
Right.
pick one of them?
Yeah.
Hey,
or
how about
neither.
this?
I don't care. I mean, time's a wasted. We just...
Look, D, you seem like the sort of person who is down for a little wager, correct?
Correct.
So you were able to juggle 3 of those rolls, correct?
Correct.
But I bet you choosing me to be let out that you can't juggle 4 of them. And I hold out 4 rolls. I bet you can't juggle these 4 rolls.
And if I can't, you're going to come with me.
Exactly.
All right. So D goes.
But
She grabs one roll.
What am
It's
I?
an
chopped
illusion.
liver? I can't get out of here.
She's doing
The-
one.
Well, wait.
Oh,
When you go to grab the rolls, they're just illusionary rolls that I have made with my empty cantrips.
well, I guess you're coming with me.
That's what I like to hear.
This is some bull crap. I didn't agree to this deal. What is happening?
I mean, you stay in jail, which is where you belong. And then
All
with
right.
that, they let Lysandros and Dee, they lead them out of the jail cell. They close the door behind them. They seal it up again, leaving Dolos by himself now in the pit. The grate is shut. So Dolos, you have been forgotten and left behind. Dee, do
The
you actually
worst.
go with them to the Coliseum, or do you find your first chance to book it and get out of there?
I turn to them and I ask them, have you seen a sword? Because I'm looking for a sword. And I go with them in the hopes that I will hopefully find Jay.
Okay. Lysandros, you are let go. No one expects you to do very well in a Coliseum. So basically, they feel like if they let you go, they don't have to deal with you. And right now, they have this idea of they're going to start. They're essentially plotting to rig a bunch of bets on behalf of D, which is good information for you to know.
Oh, yes.
So yeah.
Lysandros immediately acts on this information.
So Lily runs off to freedom. Lysandros does the same, and Dolos is left behind to grow embittered. And
Dolos will serve his time, but he knows who he has to find later.
yeah. So
Lily
D-
runs off going, must find Jay, must find Jay.
So D, you are taken to a staging area where there are plenty of other gladiators who are preparing for battle. It is a major event right now. There are lots of matches happening, so this is the time for it. And you don't see your brother, and you are taken over. Basically, the guards say to you, now remember, you lose your fight or you go back in the hole. Do you understand?
Understand, I lose my fight or I go back in the hole.
And they leave you there. and you are taken over to the weapons master, the quartermaster, who basically is outfitting everybody for stuff, and you are taken to a forge where a blacksmith hands you the armor that you will come to know as your familiar gladiator armor. It is customized to fit you pretty comfortably. It's over time, the leather will grow to fit your body and feel like a second skin to you. But this is the very first time that you've worn it. But he looks at you as he works the forge, and he's making weapons. And he catches your eye, and he says, "You looking for a sword?" I heard you say to the guys.
Yeah, and also if you could find a way that these like don't chafe, that would be so good.
Yeah, it's my first time. I've never met your arms before, so I'll work on
So
those. But
itchy.
how about this? Tell me a story or sing me a song, and I'll give you a sword.
There were once two, a brother and a sister too. They were best friends. They played all day. There was a mother. She didn't care about the brother, but he had a sister. His name was Jay. He went away. And now she fights all day. That's it, man.
He kind of takes a moment and pauses, and you see just the hint of a flash in his eyes, and you can't quite tell if it's just light from the forge nearby reflecting off of his eyes, or if it's something more, something magical, because it's gone so fast you barely notice it. And even though you didn't see him hammering away at a sword while you were singing, suddenly he seems to have completed a sword, and he turns it and he says, a fight is good and a weapon is good, but creation doesn't have to be in the battlefield. And he turns the hilt to you and hands you what will become a comfortable sword for you. And this is the day that you first met Perforos.
Ooh.
But it's also the day that you last saw your brother, who escaped while you were captured. And you kept waiting and waiting for him to return. And he never did. And this is the day that you learned that you had to start taking care of yourself. And we cut back to a battlefield where you have just been aided in combat by a friend who has helped tear apart some bandits who are running towards you. And you're not really sure yet if you can trust these new people, but you know that right now they're the only ones standing between you and more damage. So Dee, first of all, I'm giving you inspiration for singing on the spot when I force you to do it, because that's amazing. So
Sorry.
Super good.
that's fantastic.
Incredible.
So you get inspiration.
I was not warmed up. Sorry.
Because that is the end
That was
of your
great.
flashback, I'll let you carry that on to next week in case you don't want to use it for one of your scenes later on.
Right.
But that was on the spot, improvising
Amazing.
a song is such a it's the thing everybody is scared to do, and you did it with gusto, and so you 100% earned inspiration for next time with that. So
Incredible.
great work. And I just realized my
nice.
laptop's not plugged in, so I should probably do that.
Not
before
my
it dies.
inspiration.
So Dee, it is actually now your turn in combat, and you are wearing armor that was made for you that day by that man at the forge, who you have since realized has been your patron, someone who often shows up in times of trouble for you and will exchange his favor to you in exchange for a song or a story or a poem or some manner of creation. Dee, what do you do?
I raise my sword. But first, I'm gonna talk cash-ish. I see I see them coming, and I look them in the eye. I crouch down with my sword, and I call them motherless Fs who never effed an F on their way to an F.
Okay.
If you ever effed, you've never effed. I am the only one who Fs.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
And then I roll.
Okay. You're going with your sword?
Yes, I'm going to attack with my sword. I rolled in 11, buddy.
11 just hits. You just hit one of those
There you go.
bandits. So roll your damage.
I was gonna say we've got 85 rerolls if you wanted.
Yeah.
I know.
But 11's good. So
My damage is I believe my damage is an 8.
Nice.
D, you have just killed a bandit.
Nice.
I killed a bandit.
Yeah.
high five.
Yeah, he was pretty messed up from the damage from the snare that Claw had him in, the spikes, and he kind of like runs around trying to come at you, and you take your sword and you got him right in there. So you have killed yourself that bandit.
First kill.
There you go. First, I was gonna say first kill of the game, but no, the Claw had the first kill of the game.
Yeah.
Actually.
Some bushes had the first kill of the game.
First blood.
I'll take credit for it, but
I mean, use your magic.
it was really Nylea who did it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think it's good that you give you sacrifice your kills to your god.
Yeah.
All right, Lysandros, it is now your turn. A glimpse of light. There's a nagging feeling in your gut, Lysandros. One that has lingered since yesterday when your seemingly unwinnable bet on your occasional friend D proved to be the biggest windfall you've seen in years. If that weren't just your luck, you've also found yourself in league with a fairly grumping seeming Leonid who insists that you're central to her mission for some reason, and a Centaur that you just can't quite figure out yet. As a gambler, Lysander, you're used to this feeling. It's one that screams out to you from time to time when the chips are down. It's that sense of the game changing. You remember that feeling the first time it happened. And as a flash of light reflects off Dee's passing blade as she attacks this enemy, we see a reflection of a sunbeam that has long since shone. You grimace as it hits you in the eyes, waking you from an unrestful slumber. This is many, many, many years ago in Skolda Vale. A previous night's revels linger in the form of a headache and a soreness in your limbs from dancing. It was your father's birthday, and for people without much in the way of formal leadership, your father may as well have been a king. Though without a patch of land to call your own, your father had kept a loose batch of satyrs together through some hard times, some illness, some bad hunts, some rough winters, and yet you all survived. As you wake, the rest of your clan has resumed the revels from the spots they fell the night before. And as the merriment goes on, there are performances, there are contests, and there is more and more food as the day goes on. In fact, one of the meals is provided by a friend of yours named Jack, a satyr, who had the wherewithal to create a spread of honey, dried figs, olives, sardines, feta cheese, soft goat cheese, pomegranate, and a freshly baked Barbie loaf, along with some red wine. It was delicious.
I can't imagine.
And there are, among enjoying this delicious meal with you, are several of your friends, young satyrs about your age. How old would you think you were this day, Lysandros?
Probably, I don't know, early 20s, teenager kind of age
Okay.
at this point.
Okay. I think that you might be about, maybe about 20. Some of your friends are younger, but amongst satyrs, it's not that unusual for everyone to still be chowing down on some red wine, getting their revel on. There's not really a young age for reveling. So
you're kind of expected from the get-go to you got to start early. You got to learn to revel.
Yeah, you got to build that tolerance. So joining you in your revels are some young friends of yours. Of course, we have Irene, who is going to be played by Ashlyn in this scene. We have Tazia, who's going to be played by Danielle. We have Alekos, played by Ruben. We have Zan, who is your half-brother on your mom's side. And there's a lot of celebrating happening here. There are actually several carnival games happening that your friends are participating in. There is a version of bowling. There is a magically animated stuffed Minotaur. It's not a real Minotaur. It is a series of skins and bags that have been put together in the form of Minotaur that one of the local druids has given a little bit of a move to. There's obviously multiple drinking contests happening. Yeah. And you are approached first by your half-brother Zam, who says, well, your dad made it to another year.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty close going some of those days. I mean, we were drinking so much. And that one time when he jumped up on that tree and almost, I just didn't think we were going to make it the entire way. But the man seems to have leadership in his blood.
Sure does.
Speaking of which, I am hung over. I am going to get myself some of these victuals that we have over here and then start drinking again so that the hair of the Minotaur, as I have just decided to call it now, will get my brain back into, having a good time mode.
Brother, I thought you would be more interested in maybe making these contests a little more interesting.
Well, you do know me pretty well. All right, so what are we looking at the odds on the drinking over there?
Well, let's see your friends here. Are any of you up for a friendly drinking competition that we can maybe place some bets on?
Somebody say drinking competition.
Oh my gosh, I'm so in.
Where's the party?
Yeah. I mean,
my people.
What's up,
literally,
bro?
this is the party. With the
What's
entire
up, Dros?
existence
How you
of the
doing,
party.
bro?
Oh my gosh, let's do this.
Okay, but where's the party?
It's all around us.
Yeah,
this
still
is the
here,
party.
I think.
Okay, so the three of you all have drinking horns placed down in front of you. They're essentially like wooden-shaped goblets that are very much like the horns of your fellow satyrs, not unlike the ones that you're seeing on your friend Lysandra's here. And they are all filled to the brim with a thick, hearty mead of some sort. And you are, I don't know if mead is a drinking game kind of drink, but this one is. It's like an ambrosia. It's very, very easy to drink. It's very delicious. All right.
The satyrs, man. It's like whatever we got. Let's do this.
Lysander, who's your money on?
Well, I mean, so of my friends, do any of them have a reputation for being particularly good? No, you know what?
They're satyrs, so yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Why make the decision myself? It's too easy if I get to pick who I'm bidding on. And I'm going to take out a pair of dice, just a regular pair of dice. And I'm going to be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Here he goes again.
Looks like you're the winner. What were everybody's names again?
Alekos.
Irene.
Hi, my name is Tazia.
Irene, you are the winner today, so don't disappoint me.
Okay. Before the drinking begins, everyone gets ready to revel in the drinking, partying. And so as everyone is excited, a satyr that you know by the name of Smiley the Ogre stands up. And we're doing toast now. This is a smooth transition.
Yeah.
A satyr named Smiley the Ogre stands up, raises his glass, and he yells, "Satyr superiority!"
Yeah.
And when and then he continues with actually I don't want to assume the gender of Smiley the Ogre. So when they continue, they actually then also add in, and may I say, rest in peace to Lysandros' waistline for eating 2 good berries at once. And everyone razzles you and smacks you on the back for the 2 good berries you ate earlier.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, and then
God, dude loves berries.
and then another satyr who is wearing the armor, or an approximation, we'll say, made out of paint and twigs and stuff, that looks not unlike an Akroan guard, perhaps something he picked up while he was traveling to the Ironian Games at some point, and he yells, "Let me guess! Someone stole your sweet roll." Thank you to our friends who toasted us. Those have been unleashed upon the world.
Thank
and
you,
now
everyone.
They can't be taken
Sweet
back.
rolls for
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you, Smiley Ogre and a Crowling Guard, which is a great gag. I love that.
Smiley the Ogre
Yes, the
is
Crowing
Stephen
Guard.
Pope, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Stephen Pope. And I'm glad that I did
Yeah,
not
Stephen.
stick with the one single pronoun. Thank you so much, Stephen. All right. And then now we are going to do a drinking contest. And so I will say that the 3 of you, each one of you, roll a d20 for me. And then I'll wait till I ask before you tell me what you roll.
Okay.
Okay. Ruben, what did you get? You got a 1. Okay. So, first of all, I actually figured him out. Alekos goes to drink and actually has a wrong tube situation happen and starts to cough. And it's Alekos is like, maybe it's a little bit too early in the morning to have already begun your beginning of the next day's revels.
I've been told I have a drinking problem, so
Yes.
that was the
You
problem.
clearly are not good enough at drinking.
So then Zan, in frustration, slides his coin away. Zan had money on Alekos, so he loses that. Next we have Tazia. What did you roll?
I rolled like an 18 or whatever.
Okay. Tazia rolled an 18. And Irene, what did you roll?
I rolled a 14.
Okay, so they both put down their first horns, and Tazia is in the lead over Irene. A second horn of drink is filled up for both of them, and they go right back at it again. So both of you roll for me.
And what's your name again?
Zan.
Zan. Oh.
Come on, everybody.
So since he's out of the competition, Alekos is instead going to pull an instrument from his pocket and start playing along with the competition.
Okay. Tazia, what'd you get?
I got like a 15 and stuff.
Okay, and
Oh
then
my
Irene,
gosh.
what'd you get?
I got a 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Irene is way behind now, but there is one more horn that is filled up for both of them, and they're almost at it. And let's see, Tazia, roll for that last horn for me. And I'm gonna have you roll at disadvantage. Roll twice, take the lower one because you have been pounding down now.
Yeah.
You got this. This is for Lysandros. You got this.
Come on.
I rolled like a 12.
Okay, and then Irene, go ahead and roll twice for me as well.
Okay. Oh,
What'd
and
you
I'm disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
You're
rolled
both
so good.
ham-
I rolled a 4.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, Lysandros, for as much as you wanted Irene to win, she is not able to manage, and so Tazia has actually
darn.
nailed this drinking challenge.
Woo!
You win this time.
Nice job.
Well, I can't win them all.
You
All
sure
right.
can't.
So
I hope this doesn't mean bad luck for you, my friends.
You know,
No,
win
Please.
some, lose most. You know what I'm saying?
please. We all know that the day that I end up losing more than I win is going to be a bad day indeed for all of us.
That is true. That
Then
is
the
not
fates have
gonna-
truly abandoned us.
That sounds bad.
Ugh.
So Zan is like, all right, let's try another challenge. Let's try the how about the animated Minotaur? How about you guys see who can stay up on that longest?
Ooh,
Aw, I
I'm
love
good at that
that.
one.
All right.
I'm gonna hurl.
All right, probably not her, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. In fact,
Maybe
I'll tell you
sit
what.
this one out.
If
I'm
you
okay
want to
with
bet
that.
her, 2-1 odds.
2 to 1.
All right. I like that. I
All
like
right.
the way you're thinking here.
All right. Everyone, I'll start with Claw, because you were the first one out of the drinking contest.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you make a series of rolls. It's essentially basically how long you're able to stay on it.
Staying on the mechanized Minotaur. All right.
Yeah. So go ahead and make your first roll.
17.
Okay, you are managed to stay on it. So you got about 30 seconds on it so far.
Nice.
Go ahead and make a second roll to see if you can get the next chunk out.
6.
Yeah, 6 is not going to do it. So it bucks, and you see. So Aleko's had it seemed like he was doing pretty good for that first bout of it, and
then I got cocky.
He got really cocky. He kind of stopped to wave, and right when you waved, it bucked, and you were tossed over it. All right, next we're gonna go to Irene. Irene, you climb onto the Minotaur. The Druid starts making it shake, and go ahead and make that first roll for me.
11.
11. All right, you are able to maintain on it. However, you definitely are struggling to do it. So for your next chunk, I'm gonna have you go at disadvantage.
All right, let's do this. Okay. 13.
Same thing. Okay,
Nice.
Keep going, and then also everyone remember that you do have a bunch of rerolls if you do want to try those out at some point. But go ahead and make your next groove.
Okay. Disadvantage still?
Yeah, because you basically
Because you were drunk.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
got the jumblies.
How does rerolling work with disadvantage?
I think I'm gonna say I'll let you re-roll just the lowest one again.
Sure.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
12.
Okay, same thing. You've managed to make it on, so you've gotten basically another 30 seconds on there. So go ahead and make another one for me.
All right. Ugh. How many rerolls do we have?
This bull riding competition is important.
Unfortunately, you can only do one reroll per move.
Oh, that's
so
right.
Per check.
Okay.
Go ahead and go on.
I hit a 3.
All right, so you buck off. I think that was about 2 minutes, right? Or
Yeah.
I guess that would be a long, but yeah. Essentially,
What's
you got
that? No
4 segments on it.
hands.
So I think he's doing pretty good. And then finally, we come down to Tazia. Let's go ahead and get that first one for you.
All right, I rolled an 11.
All right, same thing as before. You stay on, but it is difficult. You're hanging on. So next roll is at disadvantage.
4.
Okay, so yeah, you fly off, and so Irene has actually won this one, and so Zan now collects his winnings for it, and he goes, "Well, can't always win, but that's all right."
Well, I will be damned. Things have just not gone my way today.
And it is as these continue, as the day goes on and the sun starts to set a little bit, that Shari, a Sibyl, which is the respected elders of your clan, those who are known for their gifts of far-seeing, it is her time to read destiny. It is a ritual that you have seen plenty of times, typically after Shari has had her fill of wine and spouts off whatever nonsense she can, and everyone finds a way to go along with it. More than one satyr has had to dye his fur a strange color due to whatever spots Shari was seeing in her vision during a revel, but this is different. She lays out runes as normal and begins to read them when suddenly she shudders. She falls back in her chair as everyone gasps in uncertainty, and she is lifted, levitating in the air with her hand outstretched, her finger in a point, and it lands on you, Lysandros. And she says, "Fortune favors the son of the leader. Splendid satyr is he. A golden age of the revelers, of which he'll oversee. And when his tale of life is spent, when he draws from his last breath, a fortune the veil has never dreamt will carry him from life to death." And then she falls. Unconscious at first, but soon roused, with clearly no memory of the prophecy, and yet a boastfulness and lying claims of ownership of it all the same. It was the first time, Lysandros, that you felt that game change in your gut. Nothing in your clan was the same from then on. You had been painted with the brush of destiny. From then on, cups were filled with talk of your future, how you were sure to lead a golden age for the Vale and die the richest satyr that ever lived. This was the day that destiny first pushed down on you, And though it will be several years before you would physically do it, this is the day that you began to run away in your heart. Heliod's sun set that day like it always did, and you remember that shine of the last glimmer in your eyes as again the glimmer of a blade swings before you, and your own knife finds purchase in a bandit's chest.
He jumps forward, looking like like one of the bandits who had went down, and just says, "Whoa, wait, it's me!" and then stabs the guy in the chest.
Yeah, so he goes down because he only had a little bit of health left anyway. So you take him out, and he is gone. So we have now taken care of that bandit. There's only one more bandit left. It's the captain, who is currently attacking Callie. And actually, it's his turn. So he is going to take a swing at you, Callie. And let's go ahead and make a Centaur attack on you. I haven't rolled them yet. Let's see what happens here. And he just misses. Actually, no. Yeah, he misses you. And so you take no damage. You are able to dodge out of the way of it, and you have your own sudden feeling of just frustration of having been through this so many times. You remember a life that wasn't so sick of dealing with bandits and outlaws and people jumping at you in the dark and chasing down and protecting weird satyrs and clearly women who were full of lies. And you remember a time when you ran free with your pride. And then you remember as this bandit swipes at you and then looks away at your party. You remember the look on your father's face when he looked away from you the day that you left your pride. And you remember wandering for what felt like hours, could have been days, you have no idea. You just felt lost, wearing this new circlet upon your head that marked you, made other Leonin amongst your savannah essentially give you distance, give you space, nothing they wanted to do with you. And then you found yourself alone in a clearing with a tree that had long since been struck by lightning and was rotting away. And for the first time, a face formed in that tree. The face of a man named Macraeus, who would speak to you many, many times over the course of your life. But this is the first time that you were introduced to him. And for the sake of time, just because where we're at right now, and I want to get to the actual scenes, I will say that you haven't quite gotten your antagonism with him yet. But so he just lets you know that your quarry has found their way to a tent nearby where merchants have gathered. And you find yourself following the trail that he leads you. As you get closer to it, you enter the tent, and standing before you are three merchants who all have their own individual stalls set up. One of them, the audience will recognize as a human man named Dolos, who once sat in the pit of a gladiator tournament. But to you, this means nothing. This is just a man in a room. And I will also let Danielle and Jordan describe their characters.
Sitting in the area is a merchant in front of a table that is filled with cards. She is wearing many different cloaks, some of purple, some of green. She doesn't look anyone in the eye until they come and sit directly in front of her table, in which point she starts doing little temple hands with her on top of her hands on top of her temples, as she is speaking with people and looking at them very directly in the face and in the eye, as she proceeds to read them their fortunes.
Okay. Jordan, what's your character doing?
And my character, you see kind of a dour-looking centaur who wears like kind of a robe over him, but on his back, he has two big barrels that are hanging off of either side of like where his saddle would be. And it seems like he has some other supplies and stuff on the back of him. And he's going around and he's selling wine to people that he just takes cups off of the table that he has on his back and fills them with the wine from the barrels, like right that he carries on his back and gives them to people. So his whole like traveling operation is contained on him as he does it.
All right. And Dolos, describe what she sees from you.
Dolos is seated behind like a table, and on the front of the table it says Apodakus's Adventuring Accoutrements, selling things like 10-foot poles and 50 feet of hempen rope and oil flasks and caltrops, and it's everything must go is like a sign, and he sits there, hands on his portly belly, feet up on the table, waiting for patrons to come by.
And Callie, you remember back to the conversation you previously just had with Macraeus, who had said to you, one of the folks in there, they're hiding one of your quarry. They're hiding the returned. It's your job to figure out which one of them it is and find him. And this, Callie, is your very first hunt.
Oh, great. All right, so I'll walk in. Walk up to the Lysandros. What was your name again?
I didn't give a name.
Oh, okay.
But it's Talix.
Talix. I'll walk up to Talix, kind of look them up and down.
Can I help you?
I could really, really use a wine right now.
Well, I've got wine here. If you want that, I guess I can manage. He pulls back and gets a cup. And he kind of looks at you. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
She kind of cocks her head to the side and, like, what? I'm just waiting for my wine.
He goes to his left wine jug, opens the spigot, and fills it up with wine.
What's on the other side?
More wine.
Is it different wine?
It's in a different barrel. Do you want this wine or not?
I'll take the wine.
All right. That'll be a copper piece.
Flick you a copper piece.
He takes it and he puts it in the thing. In a little satchel that he has. Like a fanny pack.
Yeah. Love it.
Do you all travel together?
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm telling them I didn't care. They wouldn't know because I gave them all parts. So.
Well, there's some safety in numbers when you get places, but usually we just you kind of just link up with whoever you find when you get to a new town.
Yeah, wandering merchant's code. You know what I mean?
I am here for seeing. I see things.
Do you?
I do. Would you like me to see things for you?
She'll walk over and I'm assuming you're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
She'll squat down. That depends. Who helps you see? Is it a god? Is it a god that gives you these powers, tells you that it'll help you? They're helping you in some way.
I see with the power of what I see. And right now, I see that you are very distressed as you are consumed with something that starts with the letter C. The letter C, something might be bothering you. C, a man that starts with C, or maybe your relative, an uncle who starts with C.
And you. She just turns
She
around.
just kind of ignores her.
Ashley, just give yourself inspiration for next session. 'Cause
That's funny. Yeah, she sees things. He sells drinks, and I sell things. So you need like caltrops?
No.
What about like an abacus? Or like
No.
soap? You need some soap, common clothes. I got a crowbar. Like any of that kind of stuff, I got.
I'm looking for someone. Has anyone else came through here lately?
I mean, lots of people come through here. That's why we're set up at the crossroads. You know.
This someone would have been much more unique.
More unique than the droopy centaur over there and the lady who sees things.
XCCs.
And I mean, everybody's unique in some way. You gotta be more specific, I think.
She'll finish her wine. She's looking around. Does anything seem out of place? Like this whole time she's been watching very intently.
Make a. How are you looking for things out of place? Are you actually investigating things close up, or are you?
She would have been investigating, especially when she was watching the satyr get the wine.
Okay, make an investigation check.
She is not very good at this. 3. Do I reroll?
I will. Okay, yeah. If you want to reroll, we have a lot of them. So I don't know how many we have left because I haven't been counting them. So
we've got at least 10 left.
Okay.
15.
Yeah, with a 15, I think that you are not used to the way that folks outside of your homeland serve wine, so you don't necessarily know exactly if this is how wine is typically brought about. However, you do feel like this is at least on the up and up as far as the wine is concerned, or you don't get the sense that your quarry could be hidden inside one of these wine jugs.
Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, are you buying anything? Do you got anything to sell? I barter if you want to get rid of something.
What do you have?
Otherwise, what do I have? I've got hempen rope. I've got 10-foot poles. Like anything an adventurer needs. I got bags of flour. Look at this bucket of ball bearings I got back here. I got so many ball bearings. You couldn't. I mean, you've never seen so many ball bearings, everything at low prices.
I've just got wine.
And UCCs.
I see in your future and in what you are looking for a man. His name starts with C and he carries a caliper.
What? A what? I need to get that on my, what's that thing called? And he's like pulling out a ledger.
It's a caliper. Stop talking in front of the mark.
The mark?
With a C, because I see a man whose name is Mark, and it's Mark that ends with C.
We were looking for someone named Mark earlier.
I have a friend named Mark, but his name doesn't start with a C. It starts with an M.
I'm gonna walk outside the tent. Are we in a tent? What are we?
Yeah,
in?
it's like almost like a tent, like you would see like at a bazaar, sort of. Only you're kind of in like a very small settlement, so it's not like a huge big area. So it's kind of like this temporary thing that's been set up to facilitate commerce. And then the idea is like whoever is running it will pack it up, and then it'll move on to another town.
All right, so just getting a little frustrated here. Look, I am looking for someone, and I have had a really rough day. I don't want to do a lot of back and forth here. Have you seen someone who has been running? And if you are hiding them, I suggest you no longer do that and just give them to me so I can be on my way.
Make an intimidation check for me, but you can add your strength modifier instead of charisma for that. Because you're tough and you're scary.
Yes, I am. 5 plus 2 is intimidation. And you said, use my strength. That's
Take
Yeah.
all the
still
rerolls too if you want them.
Yeah.
nope. I rolled that's a 9.
Okay. You're not as intimidating as you want to be, probably because you've never done this before, and so you're like not used to intimidating people. Like you're usually going after monsters.
Yep.
Thanks for the raid a few times. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank
Hey,
you.
welcome.
Awesome. Yeah. So you are still kind of trying to figure out which of these 3 people is hiding your prey.
Okay. I don't have a special nose or anything. Okay.
Well, you have
That's
your.
funny.
I will say you do have your circlet, and I don't know if you want to try to figure out a way to use
Oh,
that.
that's right. I just
around,
assumed
but-
it would work. No, but you're right.
Well, the thing is, like none of them are pinging it, but
Yeah.
you know there might be like something
Yeah.
around the area.
Right.
All right. Just focus.
And we
focus.
just hit our next level of tier,
Yeah.
and so I will reveal how that's going to play itself out before the end of the game tonight. So that'll be
Excellent.
exciting.
Ooh, yay.
All right, lady who sees things.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you,
What
Jack,
else
for
do
unlocking
you
that tier.
see?
I see a commander, maybe someone close to you, some kind of cousin. I see a cousin named Charles.
Ah! As soon as she does that, I'm just going to let out my daunting roar. I'm just going to be like, ah!
And what
All
does
right.
does that give you
What is
something?
that?
Is that like
what does that do?
Oh, yes, it does. Creatures of your choice within 10 feet that can hear you must succeed a wisdom saving throw or become frightened until the end of my next turn.
Okay, I'll go ahead and
Love
say it. I'm not going to worry about space right now, so I'll say that affects all of them. So everybody
Yeah.
in this room make a wisdom saving throw. So go ahead and make one and just add a +1 because you're all kind of like merchants. I think you would all have a little bit of wisdom.
I got a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
I got a 7.
Okay.
I got a 4.
I'm gonna tip
I'm gonna-
backwards in my chair and fall over.
I'm actually going to do a roll too to see how somebody else reacts to that. What's your DC on that, Ashlyn?
My DC is 13.
You make that roar, and then in front of Dolos, his setup that has all of his gear on it suddenly falls over in a clatter, and underneath a table that was like held over with like a blanket over it, a young figure or a small figure, a humanoid-sized figure, I should say, wearing a metallic mask over their face, suddenly bolts out of the back of the tent, like runs through it.
Oh
Found
no!
Oh,
Oh no! Where did they come from?
that's crazy.
I'm not with him.
She'll glare at Dolos. You're lucky I have to catch him or I cut out your tongue for lying. And I chase after him.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make you roll because this has already happened in your history. You chase this figure down. You are able to pounce on him with your claws. You're able to overpower him. And when the fighting is done and the mask is taken from his face, you see only the empty, sunken-in eyes of a returned, and the decaying mouth, and the soulless body of a figure that has brought itself back from the afterlife only to live a cursed half-life upon the mortal world. And when it is done, you have achieved your first hunt in the name of Erebos.
Meanwhile,
Tight.
back at the tent, the guards come up to Dolos and are like about to arrest him and throw him into a pit because he.
This is actually after he's been in the pit. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is Dolos up to his
Not
own tricks.
again!
Yeah, this is Dolos up to his
Wah,
old
wah.
tricks. Back in the present day, you are now facing down not an undead person, just a guard in the service of his own pockets, and you are fighting with him. I think it is actually your turn.
Yes.
How do you attack?
I'm gonna swing right back at him after he just missed me. After they just missed me. Ooh, that is a 10 plus 15.
Okay,
Nice.
that just hits him.
All
Go ahead and
right.
roll your damage.
Excuse me, kitty cat. That is a so I'm gonna I make a 9. I hit 9. So as they miss me, I'm going to take my sword. I kind of laugh at him, or like, yeah, I kind of like laugh, like, and just bring it back around. And I kind of just say, next time you try to come after us, try to be a little more quiet. And just slam it down on his neck.
Yeah,
Their
you do
neck.
some
Oh yeah.
pretty bad. He's a he. This is a he. You do some pretty bad damage to him, and then now it is Claw's turn. Claw.
Yes.
One of the bandits that fell dropped a torch that he was going to use to try to throw and burn some of your stuff, and you catch a whiff of that smell of smoke and that fire, and you remember as it wafts through your lungs, it reminds you of a similar memory. Typically, you make it a point to avoid conflicts like this. Though you dabble little in the daily lives of the folks who hire you for tours on your centaurs, you do tend to understand that those who live in the polis around Theros tend to prefer to continue on living for as long as possible. When they do sometimes die, they rarely tell their others. When they do live, sometimes they'll tell others who will also hire you. You have not yet had a dead customer recommend you to their friends. So,
Although, not out of the question in Theros.
yeah. But for business, you tend to prefer to keep your clients alive. So you tend to, as you told us last week, you tend to take them to the layers where a chimera used to be, as opposed to where they currently are.
Right.
You tend to take them to where what seems like a scary battlefield, not an actual battlefield.
Right.
But you remember a day when you and a fellow band of your fellow centaurs came across a battlefield that you had missed out on. It was there was smoke of a human village in the plains that was burned to the ground. And in that wreckage was a small child. And your leader, Theodora, the fastest of your group, says that she will take the kid home to this new village to find some safe space for it. But she entrusts you, Claw, with the charge of your group. And she says, find who did this and take care of them. And you are given control over a band of centaurs that you've led before. In your role as Claw Speaker, you have actually been often put into a place of authority and respect amongst people. And so you are partied with 3 centaurs that you know. You are partied with Doxa, played by Ashlyn. You are partied with Saya, played by Danielle. And Roth, a younger version of the centaur that Jordan played in the previous scene. And you are now standing in the wreckage of a burned out human village. And what do you do? How do you investigate? What are you looking for?
This is a lot of responsibility, Claw.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Okay. Well, let's investigate and see if we can find any clues around Doxa and Saya. I don't know who's more specialized in investigation between you. I mean, Roth, you don't seem to. This isn't really your area of expertise. Am I wrong?
Well, I'm not particularly good at it, but I could do it if you needed me to.
Well, you know what? Let's go the 4 cardinal directions. And let me know if you see any animals that are alive around. I'll go north, and the other 3 will go in different directions, and I will look for clues.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me, Claw.
I'm going to re-roll.
Okay. Thank you, rerolls.
15.
Okay. What you find first, and this is why this memory stirred in you, the burns for the village were actually not from the attackers. You find human torches, but you get the sense based on where they were dropped and where the burns happened that the humans who lived here had attempted to fight off their attackers with torches and were felled. And based on their own inability to really fight that well, they ended up accidentally, inadvertently burning down their own village.
I tell that to the group.
Yeah.
These
So-
humans,
No.
they just destroy everything. They don't even mean to, but they do.
So sad. Are there any footprints
Destructive.
leading away from the village? Is there any proof of anything else having been here? Broken trees in the distance?
There are trees that are leading out of the town that are not broken. However, there are. Make a nature check for me.
Reroll. And I'm good at that, so this is a high number. 22.
Yeah, you're really good at
Ooh.
that. The trees have not been broken. However, wherever a print, like if something touched them on their way out, there are these handprints, and there is this decay to the trees. There is this fungus that has grown. It is as if the tree had the spots where the trees had been touched had become long since dead and rotted away in what while the rest of the tree around it still lives. So it's like this one spot suddenly dealt with years and years of decay and rot and essentially necrotic destruction.
Detect magic.
Yeah, you're getting an extremely powerful sense of magic here.
Of magic.
Of
Okay.
magic, a presence of magic that almost feels like necrotic in origin. It's extremely necrotic magic. Whatever was here should not have been here. And you actually see now, because you're investigating, and I'm going to let you get just for sake of time, and you had a pretty high roll earlier, you actually see that the footprints you're following originated from a disturbed graveyard nearby.
Oh,
So
great.
there was some sort of grave spirit or some sort of grave sort of being has risen up. Not zombies, like it's not
Right.
bodies that come up out of the
Mm.
graves,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like something that would have dwelled here or been drawn to here was angered somehow.
I will pull a basically 2-foot long spear-like object called a Yikawa from my back and say, "Be on alert. We are dealing with something dangerous and deathly."
What do you think it could be, Claw?
Oh, well, one would hope it isn't returned, but I fear it might be.
Returned.
I feel you can handle anything that comes in periods such as these.
Thanks, Doxa. That's your Doxa, right?
No, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I heard the wrong voice behind me. Thanks, Sarah.
I'm Doxa.
Sorry. Yeah. I was distracted. I apologize.
And I'm Roth. But eventually I'll probably change that name, not because I completely forgot in the other scene what my name was.
Well, your voice is a lot more anyway, let's move on. And I will lead my cadre forward into the graveyard.
Okay.
Or towards the graveyard.
Well, the footsteps were going away, like whatever originated here, and then
I will
went
follow the
outward.
footsteps.
Yeah. All right. Make another investigation check for me.
Okay. That's probably good enough. 14.
You see off in the distance what appears to be a dead animal. It's too far for you to make it out exactly, but it's something you, as a hunter, you recognize when an animal has been felled in the plains.
I will approach the dead animal cautiously.
It is a wolf that, not unlike the tree, has become skeletonized and decayed, as if it has been long since dead, but almost unnaturally. So because your detect magic is still up, you definitely get the sense that this was felled by a necrotic magic, and the trail continues onward.
Okay, I'll keep following. I will briefly give a small silent prayer as I pass.
Okay. You find your way you continue to follow these signs, and everywhere you go, there are these similar symbols of death and decay and destruction wherever you're going. And you find yourself finally heading into a nearby wooded area. It is not an area that you tend to like to go. It's not the best for a band of centaurs to navigate around the trees and such, but you also have been entrusted by your leader, Theodora, to find your way into this mess to solve what's happening here. And so what do you do?
I will. Who's the most able fighter of our group?
I'd say probably you, and then followed by, I would say probably Doxa, and then probably Saya, and then Roth. No, Roth, but they're all good. Like you're a rating, you're a rating band, so like nobody's someone you wouldn't want to have your back.
Right. I'm the worst of the best.
I will pat Doxa on the shoulder and cast guidance, giving Doxa a D4 to one ability check of your choice in the next minute. It's a cantrip, so I can just do it whenever. And say, be on alert. And move in and sort of not stealthily, but forcefully and cautiously, but not stealthily.
Okay. Why don't you make a stealth check for me anyway, just for lack of a better thing to roll?
Well, not the stealthiest.
Actually, you know what? Roll again. Make a nature check for me, because you would know how to navigate woods. So let me see how well you do that.
Oh, hey, natural 20.
Yeah.
23.
Twins.
That's amazing. So I will actually, with that, and because of the time, I will say that you are able to navigate this trail again, and you are able to find yourself into this clearing. And once you are there, you realize that you have been led into a trap. And it happens very fast. Suddenly, charging out from the trees are figures not returned as you suspected, but something even scarier. These large, fey, nymph-like creatures that you have only heard of in legend and never seen face before, called lampads. They are nymphs, they are evil, and they are dark, magical creatures that linger in the lands of the dead. And you are not ready for them. There are too many of them, and you have a call to make. Do you try to face them in battle, or do you flee and call for reinforcements?
Well, I certainly don't run. I say, it's a trap. Everyone get out of here. And I will become I will wild shape into something distracting. Let's go with an elk. And I will rear up on my hooves and expose my haunches and try to get their attention, as hopefully I can at least get my compatriots out of there. Although I don't think that'll particularly work, as there's a lot of them.
Yeah, these beings are magical themselves. They are beings of the gods, and they are beings of the underworld, and they are not impressed by your mortal magic. One of them is distracted for a moment, and that one allows Roth the ability to flee. And so Roth runs. Actually, Roth, do you run? That's up to you. I guess I shouldn't tell you what you do. Yeah.
Roth's out of there.
Roth goes. The others.
I've got to survive so I can be in the other flashback.
It's all myths. Things all. Right. Yeah, it's timey-wimey. But yeah, Roth heads out, and this was the day Roth himself became a renegade, no longer having a band to call his family. It's too late for the rest of you. And you, unfortunately, Claw, you see it happen. First, it is Saya, failed felled by a lampad using a chilled touch. She is frozen to the bone and then almost shattered as she crashes to the ground. And then it is next, it is Doxa, who is hit by the exact same necrotic touch that you had seen fall the wolf and the trees before. And then it is your turn. And it is not one of these magics that takes you down, but it is actually a large spear-like weapon that it is carrying that drives itself right through your heart. And you feel your life slipping away. And the lampads themselves scurry off once this quarry is done, leaving you on the ground, grasping for breath, grasping for your life as you feel yourself die. Claw, you have now died. And once your prey is gone and your body is left behind, suddenly you have a sensation again. You feel a warmth on the side of your face. And we see a woman whose skin is the most glorious, beautiful green that we have ever seen. It is Nylea, the goddess herself that you have devoted your life to. And suddenly you feel the warmth of her hands against your face. And she says to you, "You are my chosen, and it is not your time yet. These beings who have taken you are not from this realm. I will speak to the ones that they owe allegiance to, but this insult to my domain will not stand." And suddenly, Claw, though you were dead, you find yourself gasping yourself back to life in this clearing. Your friends are gone, but you are no longer dead. And now we find ourselves back in the present day, standing up against a team of bandits who have all been cut down and taken apart and destroyed by your team, except for one leader who, not unlike yourself, realizes in this moment that he can't win. And so he turns and in panic runs away, taking a little bit more damage as he does, as he runs back through your spiky trap, but manages to continue to run. Do you let him flee, or do you guys fire an arrow at him? What do you do as he goes?
So here's what I do. Because this has all happened in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do is I go, "Oh, my virgin ears," at Dee's curse-laden diatribe. Never have I heard such language. Dear me. My virgin ears. I'm also incredibly impressed by this group's acumen, and skill and ability to rise to the challenge. This group of 3, which, I hadn't seen operate before, but I can foresee the possibility of this being my new herd. And I know that
they all look just like your old herd for some weird reason.
In some weird way. But I also know that the strength of the band is the Centaur, and the strength of the Centaur is the band. And so we have to work to quote Rudyard Kipling, sort of, and we have to work together. And I know that in order to work together, I need to trust in them with what I am. And so now I'm no longer the druid of the grasslands that I once was. But I know what I can do to end this fight. And you see, well, first of all, I'm going to maintain concentration on my spikes. Okay. But I am also going to, as an action, use the Cloak of Stars ability, because I am a Nyxborn, and I will don a Cloak of Stars. And as a part of that, I will use a bonus action to use my starry form, and using a wild shape, take on the starry form. My joints start to glow in different places, and the lines connect between them. And you see my eyes sort of glow avatar-like as I turn into the form of an archer myself. And I sort of take on this constellation-like visage and tower over the bandit that runs from me.
Do you fire at him with your archer?
Not this turn.
I'm gonna say for this because we're a little over.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you are able to fire off an arrow.
Okay.
You don't have to roll for it. It finds purchase. It takes him down. It strikes him through the exact spot in his chest where you once felt a spear through your own. And you actually even like have a vague sense memory of that scar. It's not there. There is no physical scar, but you feel it in your chest. You kind of find yourself having a bit of a shortness of breath as you remember the one time you drew your last breath, as he falls to the ground. And you have revealed this ability of yourself to your group. You have all successfully defeated your first enemy. And now it is time for you to begin your travels.
Anybody
And
need
that-
a good berry?
Yeah, you say that.
I'll take another one.
And
Yeah.
that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Lysandros.
Thank you all so much for sticking through this strange experiment that I was running that I was very excited to get to. We do have one last toast to get through as the night goes on. So let's just drop real quickly and do that. This comes to us from Yanto7, who says to us, "Such great time with these flashbacks. I want to spend time with all these new characters now
Right?
too. Can we inception this entire campaign with multiple timelines? I would follow the depressed
might.
Centaur wine merchant for an entire season." So maybe these characters will come back sometime. We don't know. That was a possible thing that was going to happen, but we'll see. However, the unlock that happened tonight was the first appearance of a full-on god in the game, and that is why your scene, Claw, ended with Nylia herself
Right.
appearing to save you,
So
as
cool.
opposed to so what would have happened differently had that not been unlocked. So that was a very fun moment to get to do and have it happen. So thank you so much to chat for that. Thank you to Madbird Streams for rating us in the middle of your death scene. So that was fantastic. A nice group came in from that.
Yay.
We also, do we have anything else to say? Let's go ahead and first of all, let's have the cast say your goodbyes and let us know where people can find you. Ruben, you go first.
Hi, everybody. I'm the internet's Ruben Bressler. You can follow me everywhere at MoxRuby, MoxReuby. It is a Magic the Gathering pun because I make Magic the Gathering content, such as the weekly Magic the Gathering news podcast, Magic Mics, that's MICS, that I host with Evan Irwin and Aaron Campbell. That's live Wednesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. And we also do top 10 videos that you can find on coolstuffinc.com. And I also do a bunch of voiceover, and I've been on a bunch of Among Us streams recently. So I'm looking into different types of content that I can get into.
And you would say tonight, perhaps, that Dolos was sus.
Right. He was very sus.
Very sus.
Yeah. The message I sent Ruben earlier today was, "Hey, are you good at being the imposter in Among Us?" And he said yes. And I go, "Cool, you're hiding your return."
Dolo, shifty pilgrim.
Yeah,
That's right.
Let's go down to Danielle. Danielle, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me. I'm one of the writers on Honest Trailers. If you like those, I help write them. If you hate one, I was sick that week. So you can find me on that. I'm writing a comic right now, which is great. I will have more details for that soon. So
Congrats,
just like,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be. I'm really excited. And writing books is hard. But so you can find me at just like Danielle Radford on Twitter, and I'll keep you guys updated with all the stuff I'm doing.
Great,
Nice.
thank you, Jordan.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jordan Pridgeon. You can find me on Twitter at Jordan Pigeon. And then you can also find me, well, we are on our break right now because we just finished up our season. But usually on Friday nights, I'm on Wild Cards here on the channel, which is our Savage Worlds show. In Deadlands, we are doing a Dark Carnival campaign right now, which is really fun. And that'll be coming up probably... That'll be coming back early next year sometime. But take the time now to jump into our first season of this show. It's really fun.
Ashlyn.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashlyn Rose. You can find me on Twitter at Ashlyn Rose. You can find me on Instagram as Rar. It's Ashlyn, and you can find my voiceover demos at ashlynrose.com, where that's all my voiceover stuff. I do a lot of voice acting, and that's pretty much me. And I'm on here doing D&D shenanigans. So yeah.
Great. I am Riley Silverman. You may find my writing on Nerdist as well as occasionally Screen Junkies and other sites as well. Actually, because today is Doctor Who Day, my Doctor Who role-playing game podcast, Game of Rassilon, released a Doctor Who Day special. It is a
Awesome.
multi-Doctor episode featuring my Doctor that I play normally on the show and Joseph Scrimshaw as my previous incarnation.
Nice.
So it was very fun to do, so you can check that out. And more importantly, or actually, before I say that, you can find me on Twitter at Riley J. Silverman and Instagram at Riley Silverman. But more importantly, you guys, we have so many awesome, great shows here on the channel, including tomorrow night. Our friends over on Salt Bay are coming back. They're running a series of short shows that are each DM'd by the various cast members of the show. So tomorrow night is the second episode of their Jane Austen Diceless themed role-playing game, Good Society. And as someone who got super into the horny new Emma movie that came out last year this weekend on HBO, I highly recommend watching a very talented group and actually Vanna is running the show. It's really fun, so check that out.
Nice.
That is 8 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night right here on Saving Throw. And I also want to throw a big shout out, of course, to Benevolent Overlord Dom Zook and our show's producer Gaurav Gulati. And without them, this show would not be possible. And without all of you, this show would not be possible. Again, like I said, this entire flashback thing happened because of Mallet Master's very, very generous tip last week.
Thank you, Mallet.
Thank you, Mallet, for giving us a fun,
everyone for all your donations.
Yes, everybody here contributed to some really fun stuff tonight. We got to have a cool God reveal for the first time tonight. So that was very exciting. And thank you all. Have a safe holiday. Please take care of yourselves. And we want to see you back here a week from tonight on next Monday at 8 p.m. Thank you very much. We love you.